Our next guest turns to the VC space, sees a lot of excitement, but is worried that some startup ideas may be just features rather than fully fledged companies. Joining us this morning, 75 and Sunny co-founder, general partner, and former Zillow Group CEO, Spencer Rascoff. Spencer, great to have you. So everyone's buzzing about this, and you know people who are building startups on it, and you know funds that are being raised around it.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. It's all anyone can talk about in tech. So there are entire funds being raised on it. You know, .LA reported on March Capital with a new $650 million AI-focused fund here in LA. You know, what we saw today, or what we're seeing today from Microsoft and Baidu, is what everyone sort of expected, which is everyone's going to have one of these. So Google's going to have one, Amazon's going to have one, Apple's going to have one, et cetera. And the startups that are being built on top of them are becoming verticalized. So I've been pitched probably 15 startups in the last couple of weeks that are trying to build real estate specific chatbots, for example, to create listing descriptions or customer service chatbots. And these are good ideas, but the question really is, won't AI just be incorporated into existing software, like existing customer service technology providers, rather than being built as a totally separate company? I think that's, you know, that, as you say, these are ideas that might be features, not companies, and that's what VCs are trying to sort through right now.
So how do you, as someone who looks at stocks, at least even publicly available stocks, how do you distill that? I mean, what looks attractive to you in the space in a way that's actionable?
Well, I think cloud is going to be a decent comp here. Cloud is the better comp than crypto or Web3 for sure. And what I mean by that is there'll be a couple big providers of these huge data sets, just like there are a couple big cloud providers, and they will have a lot of revenue. And then the rest of the tech ecosystem, companies like TripActions, for example, that you talked about, or Picasso or Zillow, these companies are going to use AI in their services by sitting on top of somebody's models. And there will be a small number, in my opinion, of dedicated startups that don't have their own models, but are verticalizing the use of generative AI into their particular verticals. You know, TripActions is a perfect example where they're incorporating AI into their existing expense management program. And I'm sure there are dozens of startups out there trying to launch new expense management software just focused on generative AI. But here you have a legacy company like TripActions, which has already responded by bringing AI into their product. So that'll be the challenge for these disruptors that are trying to use AI as their wedge into a space.
Also have companies that are working on industry-specific AI applications, right, that are able to mine through data, present it, and then when it's time to present that data, sometimes that's when your chat GPTs and your large language models come into play to help make sense of that. I mean, there are companies, aren't there, that are working in that vertical area, whether it comes to defense, government, intelligence, et cetera, customer service, you mentioned, where there's a possibility to capture quite a bit of mind share.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, the people that must be laughing about all this are the Ask Jeeves folks who 25 years ago had a search engine, the whole point of which was to ask a question and then you would get an AI-driven response. And so, you know, this is what's new about this technology is that it's customer facing and it has struck a chord. You know, one of my side projects for the last many years has been a tech podcast for kids with my son called Dad, I Have a Question. And our What is Chat GPT episode is our most popular episode by a mile. So it's gotten into the mainstream, you know, as quickly as the advent of the web browser in the early 90s. That's how quickly this has become mainstream. But the technology has been around for a long time. We're just seeing the more consumer facing aspects of it. So Zillow, for example, has used AI to improve its Zestimate for many, many years. Picasso has AI infused throughout its products. So the technologies here are not entirely new. What is new, and full credit to you know, to OpenAI, is they rushed out a consumer-facing product which captured imagination, and now Google and Baidu and everyone else is scrambling to respond, as you point out.
And